Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, roll call, please, Carol.
Steve Beardsley,
Present.
Isaac Chavez,
Present.
Taylor Crenshaw is absent, John Large is absent, Robert Stevens,
Present.
Clarence Worthen,
Present.
Eric Woods.
Present.
Okay, next we have the minutes, and we have, from March 10th, we have a regular meeting. We also have a work session on that same date, and then April 14th, regular meeting. I think, can we approve them all at once as long as we list the dates? If you're okay with that, or if you want to do it individually, it's up to you.
I make a motion to pass the minutes on March 10th, 2025, work session March 10th, 2025, and the other council meeting on April 14th, 2025.
I'll second.
Roll call, please.
Steve Beardsley,
Aye.
Isaac Chavez,
Aye.
Robert Stevens,
Aye.
Clarence Worthen,
Aye.
Eric Woods.
Aye.
Okay, those minutes have been approved. Were there any public comments? Okay. Next, we have resolution number 25-03, and it's a resolution providing for the transfer funds to allow closure of a fund. So Carol, do you want to talk to us about that a little bit?
Yes, we had a penny difference in the 2021 Community Crossings matching grant, and I contacted State Board of Accounts to see what we could do to get that fund zeroed out. And this is the process they described, and I shared that information with Alicia, and she authored this resolution. And so this would allow me to move 1 cent from MVH fund into the Community Crossings matching grant for 2021 and zero it out, and then we would be able to eliminate that fund altogether. We typically keep funds. Some funds like this we only use for 1 year or 1 season, and we typically try to get rid of them after the audit has been performed, which again is State Board of Accounts recommendation.
I move approval of resolution 2503.
Thank you. Was that Robert Stevens for the second?
Roll call, please.
Steve Beardsley?
Aye.
Isaac Chavez?
Aye.
Robert Stevens?
Aye.
Clarence Worthen?
Aye.
Eric Woods?
Aye.
Okay.
Thank you.
Resolution number 25-03 passes. Next, we have old business. Do we have anything under old business? Brian, I think we're going to go ahead and say what we get to do last Thursday. Kimberly, Brian, and I went to Monticello. We were invited by the governor, and at that time, we received this check for our Community Crossings grant. So we're excited about that. We're going to be doing about $900,000 worth of paving this year. So we're excited, and that's the first time I've ever been invited, but there were probably about 15 other cities there, so cities and towns. So we were excited, and paving's going to start in August. So we're moving forward on that. Also, did you have the information, what we just talked about, the Board of Works? Did you have that? Do you want to just briefly show them that and tell them kind of what, or Kimberly or somebody, what's going on with that? So at the Board of Works meeting, we had the Rotary Club here, and they're going to start this project. You can go ahead.
I don't know much about it, but I guess 50, there's 75.
75, and I think they have about
starting
30.
32.
32, yeah.
32, starting around Washington and Jackson, around Prairie Creek Park, all the way down Washington Avenue. We're going to put these up on the light poles all the way down. I think it's 160 total
Yeah.
once it's done.
And Rotary's going to pay, I believe, or take care of the brackets, and then.
They've already sent those to
Yeah.
us. We'll get those
And
put
street
up.
department's going to see that they get put up, so. So if you know anybody like that, it's for public safety, police, fire.
Nursing.
Nurse.
Military.
Military. Yep. 100, is anybody, 100 and,
160 poles total.
Yeah, and how much per?
I think it's.
I think it's $120.
Oh, I'm not
I
sure.
think it's 125 and up.
25.
125. Okay. And they will be up from Memorial Day
to Veterans Day.
to
in
Veterans
November.
Day.
Yep.
It's $120
Yeah, that's what Tom told me.
Yep.
Per poster,
for a
Yep.
banner.
and you had to provide a picture,
Correct.
okay.
And if anybody needs information on it, Kimberly, I think, has some applications, so I'm really excited about it. I think that's a great opportunity for our community.
Yeah, I think it's neat. I think it'll
I've
look
seen it
really
in
nice.
other communities, and I love it, so,
I think it'll look nice.
yeah.
Yeah, I think the closest one may be Lebanon.
Lebanon's.
And then, yeah, and I think maybe, is it Tipton or
Tipton has
Elwood or
it.
somebody has them as well, so, yeah, it's really exciting, so I thank the Rotary Club for taking on that project.
Yeah, we're gonna start putting the brackets up this week. So.
Okay, good,
It's
good.
also for the ones that served
Thank you.
prior or present.
Yeah, yep.
So,
So if you know of anyone, get with a Rotary member, or we have some applications up here, so. Okay, new business. We have approval of CF1 for Wesley Manor Southside.
We also had 3 arrive from Frito-Lay today, and I did tell both of these organizations that that they were cutting it pretty close to the deadline because the county has to have these by May 15th. And I said that I would present them to council, but after that point, it's out of my hands.
So I think we can approve these either as a group, if we list them, or individually, whatever you would like to do. Wesley Manor Southside, Frito-Lay has real property, I think, along with personal property. What's the other one? And personal property. So however you would like to approve those, if that's what you so desire.
I'll move to pass the CF1s for Wesley Manor Southside and Frito-Lay Inc., personal and real.
Do you have a second?
I'll second.
Roll call, please.
Steve Beardsley.
Aye.
Isaac Chavez.
Aye.
Robert Stevens.
Aye.
Clarence Worthen.
Aye.
Eric Woods.
Aye.
Okay, those CF1s have been approved. Next, Kimberly Black has asked to be here tonight to talk to us about DORA.
And no, not Dora the Explorer, because that's what I thought when I first heard it. This is just, I've asked the mayor her thoughts on Dora, or the designated outdoor refreshment area. She was in favor of this, so my next step was to get in touch with Alicia and see what we needed to do. And so wanted to bring it to you all, because you all play a part that would have to pass an ordinance. And so I'm not asking for that tonight. I'm just asking for you to kind of absorb the information. If you have questions between now and the next council meeting, to get with me. But I gave you a front and back, kind of an overview, bullet points, what DORA is, what it could do for the community, those type of things. I talked at the Board of Works meeting and kind of got their feel for it. This was their first time learning about it as well. And then I have talked with Kim Stevens and went to a couple of the Main Street mixers for the downtown businesses, and I've never seen a collaborative group that is that excited about any type of project I put together. So just kind of wanting to get your feels for this, if this is something you would like to pursue for the city of Frankfort and the downtown district. And if you have questions, like I said, Alicia's aware of it as well as myself. So just wanted to make sure it was brought to your attention. So there's a lot of communities within Indiana that have started to do this. It went into effect last year. I kind of wanted to wait to see how those communities responded, what the ATC approved, and you have anybody from Lafayette, Noblesville, Jasper, so a lot of different sizes of communities. Kirkland has one now. So like I said, if you have any questions between now and next council meeting, don't hesitate to reach out. The next step would be, if this is something you're in favor of, would be an ordinance. Chief Shoemaker is aware of this as well, so.
Kimberly, where would this Dora be located? You said the downtown area. Is it the whole downtown area?
It could be as small or as large as you would like. The only caveat to that is you can only take drinks from one Dora and keep them in one Dora. So if you have more than one Dora area, you can't take your alcoholic beverage or your beer or wine or whatever from one Dora to the next Dora. And Alicia can kind of talk about that.
And the ordinance has to lay out exactly what the boundaries of that
Yes.
are. So we would have to determine exactly where we want that to be, and then that would be part of that ordinance, and it would say, like, you know, from the corner of this intersection and this intersection, you know, down to this intersection and this intersection, and then there also has to be signage that would be put up so that everybody knows what that boundary would be.
My suggestion would be to include Prairie Creek Park down to Veterans Park and around the square to include all of the downtown businesses. This would be, you also, for our downtown businesses that are indoor, would no longer have to have like a Main Event or Pepe's where they have their outdoor area has to be fenced in. If we had a Dora, the fenced in area would go away because you would be free to walk from Pepe's down to Frositas or down to, it's not Whiskey Rose, but Small Town Boutique if she would encourage this type of thing. So you could kind of start getting the mosey down mains that they do in Lafayette and those type of areas. So it can be as concise or as wide open as you guys all want it to be.
The other thing about the Dora is that it's not for every single day. So it's not
Correct.
that once we put a Dora up, anybody can walk from Pepe's across, you know, town, across the downtown with a drink. You can specify what days you want it to be, or you can put language in there that says, and that's what I'd recommend, that says that they have to apply to the Board of Works for the Dora to be present, and then once the Board of Works approved that, then that event or that weekend or whatever would be a Dora weekend, and then it would be appropriate to use it. So it wouldn't be every single day. You could make it every single day, but
I would
most
not
communities
advise
do
that.
not do that.
No.
So
So.
I've actually talked to Kimberly about this, and I think it's a great idea. So, a lot of communities are doing it, successful, so.
Could it encompass also the courthouse lawn, or would there have to be a joint resolution or something so that during Hot Dog Festival, people could walk around?
I would have to, that's a good question. I'd have to look at that one.
yeah, we'd probably want to work with the council just, or the commissioners and the county council to make sure that they are okay with that. Generally, it's the city of Frankfort, any, you know, streets or whatever in that area. So I suppose the county could say we don't want any alcohol on our property, but they could walk around the courthouse, you know, in the street or on the sidewalks.
But if
So-
they wanted to do it with us, it'd have to be the same door, or you couldn't go from one
The,
to the next.
the city would have to do the Dora. I don't think most counties do them. I think there are a few that have, but most of the time it's like the towns or the cities within the county. So we'd probably want to get like an interlocal or something that if they want to join to have that. But we could legitimately put it all the way around the courthouse
I would
square if we
imagine
wanted
that
to.
the county probably wouldn't want to do it most of the time, but during Hot Dog Festival, it's such a whole downtown area kind of thing. Then maybe consider trying to see if they're interested. See if we can make it one.
Right.
There's a lot of steps we have to go through,
Yeah.
first of all, but I just wanted to get your temperature and what you're thinking, you know, and getting this information in front of you. So, I think there's a public hearing that has to be, and then even if we pass the ordinance and we take it to ATC, they can still approve or deny. So you are one of the stops, but not the final stop, to get approved through the ATC.
And
So-
there are a lot of requirements the ordinance has to
Yeah.
have. We have to describe our signage, where it's going to be, all of those things. So it's not just a throw it together. This is going to take a fair amount of effort to get it put in place. But I think once it's put in place, it seems like a lot of communities are starting to adopt them.
If there's other communities around, then we don't have to reinvent the wheel. We can.
Right. Yeah, and there are online, they have a DORA website kind of on the state website, and they've got the ordinances that other communities have used. So I've already perused some of those and looked at their maps and all of that good stuff.
So, participating vendors would have these cups.
Yes, so this is Warsaw's. It could be very similar to this. The chief and I have talked, Brady Sorrells and I have talked, and this would be the best way to make sure that cups that are in Dora are Dora and not bringing them from elsewhere. So it's a nice, and they can be lots of different things. I would suggest that the city not be a part of this, that we may have the chamber or Main Street or someone like that to be kind of the cohort for that, and be kind of the overseer of the cups. I don't feel like I need to be in the business of cups, but
But we can require that there are
Yes.
cups in our ordinance and that they're labeled and all of those good things. And there are also signage requirements for the different businesses that say, you know, this is a DORA business or this isn't.
yeah, because if a business wants to opt out, they can. It's not a one size fits all for all the downtown businesses, but like I said, I've been to a couple of the Main Street mixers, and I think the last 2 times she's had an ample amount of different business owners in there, and they've been very excited about it, so.
I think Main Street would be, Frankfurt Main Street would be a good place to have the cups go through. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm sure we'd have to get a hold of Kim Stevens and ask her, but I'm pretty sure she'd be on board. That way we don't have to police them.
How, just a question, how would this be any different than a concert night at Prairie Creek Park? Because they drink beer out in the lawn at Prairie Creek Park during the musicals, and, I thought they had to stay at the beer garden, but
Correct.
apparently they don't have to.
So our beer garden is because we have a sidewalk and we have a barrier of a landscape barrier, that's considered, and the other is the waterway. There's a lot of guidelines with the Alcohol and Tobacco Commission, but those are kind of our barriers. Now, if we go out into the street, we would have to fence that all, which is why the Raíces Festival we've not ever had. Or had beer and wine there, because we would have to fence. There'd have to be an entrance, and there would have to be fencing all the way around along the street, and so that's just not something that we've done. It's the same with Main Street. When Main Street was out on the road with the for
the
Hot Dog Festival,
yeah.
for the large tent, or I'm sorry, not large tent. Large stage, yes, thank you, was out on the road. They all had to be fenced in, and this would no longer be a fenced
Right.
area.
So they had to put up a temporary fence, and then they had to have someone sit and check IDs as people entered and get a wristband in order to be able to purchase alcohol within the fenced-in area. So this would allow from Prairie Creek Park to wherever else the boundary is, we wouldn't have to put up any temporary fences. We wouldn't be doing the ID checking. That would be the alcohol providers, and they could just go from one spot to the next. So if you were at if you were at Pepe's and you bought yourself a beer and you wanted to go to the concert in the park, you could walk to the concert in the park with the cup of beer, and you wouldn't have to buy it, in the beer garden or stay in the beer garden. So it just opens the range a little bit more.
It would
Makes it a
have to
little
be
easier.
if we had it in the ordinance, it would have to
Right.
be in this
That
this cup. So, or a cup similar to this.
So you're saying that drinking at the concerts are okay because of they can't go out on the sidewalk, but because we do have
We have barriers up,
Barriers
and
up
then
there that-
we have the police officers
Stand there at the gate.
stationed, and so that is
So they can't
conducive
go
to
out. Okay.
to the alcohol.
okay, I was just,
No,
because
you're
I've gone
fine.
to concerts and I thought all the drinking had to be back in that corner, but that
No.
wasn't the case.
When we give them the map of Prairie Creek Park, because I asked that the very first year when Prairie Creek Park opened, because I was concerned if we were going to have people that were drinking that would only be there and really wouldn't be able to see the band, or they'd be back a little bit too far. And they said, as long as your mapping is correct and you have security and you tell me where they are, well, you're good to go. So, but if we would ever go and do something out in the street, it would be something completely different, and would look completely different.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, no problem. you guys all have my emails, or you can call me if you guys have any other questions that pop up or as you're going through stuff or looking. By all means, don't hesitate to reach out.
Kimberly, while you're up here, can we talk just briefly about the meeting room updates? We kind of had some
Oh,
chatter
yeah.
before the meeting, but yeah, Kimberly and the mayor and I have been working on getting us camera ready for our July 1st deadline.
Yes, so also this kind of spurred up if someone is going to be gone, we've kind of had it, we've just kind of made it happen or make it happen. So this will be, well, first of all, our TVs went out, so that was part of it. But the TVs will be able to, let's say, for instance, Steve, if you're virtual for a meeting, that you would actually be able, instead of just seeing like Alicia, the mayor, and Carol, you would be able to see all of us up here, or myself that's presenting, and be able to have a conversation, or be able to hear roll call or those type of things. So you won't have to use my laptop. So getting us ready to be a little bit better at being virtual, as well as making sure that we are in the guidelines with state standards for everybody being recorded by July 1st. So hoping by June meeting that we can at least practice. You guys have been recording this whole time. We have YouTube in the back, but making sure that everyone can hear us and that we're doing this, kind of setting the standard moving forward. So you guys are old hats at being recorded, so.
But we have some groups that meet regularly that this will be a new experience for them. So we want to make everything as user-friendly as possible.
Correct.
And like Steve, we're using you as the guinea pig because you're a remote attendee frequently. You'll be up on the screen, so we'll all see you up there. And you'll, like she explained, you'll be able to hear and see everything much better than you had in the past. And if you notice, there's new lighting in here. It almost looks like the room got painted because it's so much brighter.
Yeah.
So we're doing all kinds of fun things to get ready. We had to do some electrical work in here as well.
So, but it'll be easier for those that are virtual, and then be easier because I don't have, I could, but, and Carol doesn't want to either, to go to every public meeting every month. And so being user-friendly and being click and ready to go is going to be great for everyone. So anybody from RDC to BZA to City Plan, all of those regular monthly meetings will be a part of it. Anything else, Carol?
That's it. Thank you.
Will
Thank you.
these videos be archived?
Yes, they have to be archived. Our social media and our website is also archived, and the city app.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Next, I have budget hearing dates. So everybody get their calendars out.
So we had a request to start looking at those dates, which usually we do the first or second week of August, which allows us to stay on the correct timeline for the budget process. I did reach out to Reedy, and they have, in the past, we've done it on the Tuesday, Wednesday. I think the last couple of years we've done it on the Tuesday, Wednesday, immediately following our August meeting, our August council meeting, which would be the 12th or the 13th. If we went a week earlier, that would be the August 5th or August 6th, or both days. Usually we use both days. And Reedy does have all four of those dates available. So August 5th and 6th, which is the first week of August, the Tuesday, Wednesday, August 12th and 13th, which is the second week of August. The regular meeting is the 11th. And it's up to all of you to decide how you want to proceed.
I know on the 13th, they have a BZA meeting at 5:30.
Yes.
We typically get done because those are the ones we hold during the day.
Yeah.
We usually use a long day. Most years we need one full day and maybe part of another day.
Yeah.
We could probably, it doesn't have to be Tuesday, Wednesday, it could be,
Well, no, but matter to me,
Yeah,
but I didn't know if it was going to
Wednesday,
affect Isaac.
Just be a really long day for Isaac. Somebody will have to feed him between 5 5 and 5:30 probably.
Judy, that, the 5th is the Wildcat Creek
I know, I saw that.
solid waste meeting too, so
Yeah.
that would be the only conflict you would have and I'd have on
And then
that.
on the 12th is just my muffins with the mayor, which Kimberly could do that.
Well, you can do muffins earlier, 5 o'clock in the morning.
Sure.
I'm good with either one, any of the dates. I'm good with.
I prefer August 5th or 6th, but I can make 12th or 13th work as well.
What about Wednesday, Thursday,
Do we need a,
6 and 7?
hold off on a decision till
We
we
could-
get hold of John?
We could do Wednesday,
Taylor?
Thursday.
6 and 7.
Does that work for anybody?
What was wrong with the Tuesday? Someone had a problem there?
Wildcat,
Wildcat Waste.
which is Clarence and I,
Well,
but
on Tuesday, the 5th?
Is it during the day?
yeah,
10:30 in the morning.
yeah.
Pretty important stuff over there.
Hey, I'm
She's the
president.
chair. Ask the
I am
chair.
president of the
really?
Wildcat, yes. They nominated me when I wasn't there.
The other thing is I'll have to verify with Reedy of their availability on those other days. I only checked with them on those Tuesday, Wednesday choices.
I mean, I guess I could have the assistant chair take care of that, Clarence.
I'm the assistant chair.
Are you?
I'm
Oh my
not,
gosh.
I'm not.
At least I
wondering.
was. I was last time. I think maybe they made someone else
I
assistant
don't
chair.
know.
I think they did.
If you missed the meeting, you probably are.
Would it be
No, I
better to
didn't
make-
miss any meetings.
Would it be better to make the decision next council meeting and we get hold of John and Taylor and let them see if that works for them? That's up to you.
We can
Could do a
email.
Survey on email and get
Yeah.
them, probably would be smart.
Yeah. Okay.
Is the last week of July too early to have things ready?
I think it is.
Okay.
Because we're going to meet with, first we'll meet with the department heads and we'll bring Reedy in and meet with them. And then I think that's going to be,
So we have 2 rounds of meetings before
yeah.
you are presented with something resembling a budget.
Last week in
So-
July, I'd still be recovering from the hot dog festival.
You're suggesting our options are the 5th and 6th or the 12th and 13th right now? Is that correct?
Those are the dates I have confirmed with Reedy, and those are the dates we've traditionally done it. We can certainly look at other times. I just wouldn't, we would have to go back and confirm with them as well.
Well, I like the idea of the email. And I'd hate to set a meeting and know that we're gonna miss someone if we can work around it.
Yeah.
I agree.
If we can get that done fairly quick, because otherwise other schedules start filling in, then all of a sudden it doesn't work.
I know.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
If we can try to get that done as quickly as possible.
What dates would you like me to look at with them?
Are you just interested in the Tuesday, Wednesday, or would you be willing to go Wednesday, Thursday, or what do you?
Yeah, I think we need to see if they're available the 7th. To either do 6-7 or the 5-6, which we already have confirmation on.
So is there a consensus to look at August 6th and August 7th as the 2 dates?
I think we could,
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know, the 12th and 13th out, because I don't have a conflict there.
I mean, either. I
I'm
mean,
pretty booked up.
12-13 works for me.
You're booked, you say, I think.
Yeah, I am.
That's what, I will throw those dates out and make sure that we have availability from all parties.
Okay.
But everybody here is okay with those, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, did we have any other new business? Does anybody have anything?
Motion made.
Second.
Okay. Thank you. Did you get the first and second?
Yeah, we
I
do have a
did.
work session.
Okay, so now we're going to go into a work session.